Assalamualaikum. In this task, I am going to run a simple loop on MIPS 71 times as last digits of my roll number is 71. First, I will run the loop from 0 to 71 in forward order and then in reverse order. So basically two registers are used here for storing the numbers. The first register is 21 and it has stored 71 as a constant number. The second register used is T1 and 0 is initially stored in it as a counter I. Then I have compared the two registers and it is used because if when the value of T1 will be equal to 71, it will break the loop. In the loop body, I have used the command add increment, which will basically increment the register T1 on each iteration until T1 will reach 71. And this is a label which will be used for loop again and again. At the right side, you can see the different registers and their values. Initially, all of the register values are set to 0. Here you can see that the value of T1 and T2 is 0. I will first select the CPU that will be unicycle. Then I will execute the code, which means to assemble it. And now I will run it one by one. As you can see here that reading and writing to this register is labeled on T0, which is 0. When I will move to step 1, the value of T0 is set to 71 and the value of T1 is 0. Now when we will move forward, it will check the value of T0 and T1 that either of that T1 has changed to 71 or not. Is it equal to 71 or not? Here obviously as it is not equal, as you can see that 0 is not equal to 71. So we will increment in T1 and its value will be changed from 0 to 1. As I will move to the next step, the value of T1 has changed from 0 to 1. Again, we will go into the loop and the value of T0 and T1 will be checked that they are equal or not. As they are not equal, so again we will add 1 into the register T1 and now the value has reached to 2. Similarly, now the loop will execute 71 times until the value of T1 will reach 71, and when the value of T1 will reach 71, it will obviously go out from the loop and we will finish the code. If I press the run button, you can see the all of the loop iterations are now completed. The value of T0 and T1 both reached to 71 and we have break from the loop. So this is how the value of registers are changed. Now if I want to run the code in reverse order, I will set the value of T0 to 0 and the counter value that will be I will set it to 71. So the counter value will be 71 and T0 is a constant that is 0. Now it will check if T1 has reached to 0 or not. So now it will check the value of 0 because we want it to match the value from 71 to 0. Now instead of adding add increment, we will use subtract increment of 1 and it will subtract 1 from the register T1. It will subtract 1 from the register T1 and the loop will remain the same. Again, we will load the CPU to unicycle. This is the unicycle CPU. Now I will execute and assemble the code. It's ready to run. When I will run it and I will press the step button, you can see that the value of now T1 register has changed to 71, and it will decrement one by one on each iteration. As you can see that it is, the value has been moved to 70. It is checking either 70 is equal to 0 or not. As you can see that it is not equal, so now it will decrement the register T1 again until its value reach to 0, and when the value will be reached to 0, it will terminate the loop. So the code will run 71 times and then it will terminate.